we are back racing and Corio, mate. Thanks, Paulie. Nicely done, son. And we've got our boats heading out into the milling area for a start. Let's quickly run through them. Two boats that got the job done yesterday with Giggling and Risky. They absolutely went gunnel to gunnel yesterday's race. Giggling coming out on top, but Risky only maybe a couple of bow eyes behind them. Next boat that we're looking for will be the Eden Craft Racing. On the money, we've got the Punisher out there, Tomcat, the Yenar, the Loose Wind. So looking forward to this one. This is going to be a great race. We'll have a look at our crews. In the Giggling, it's Mark and Liam Sutherland. In Risky, it's Mark, Captain Risky Swain, and Josh Boshing. Eden Craft is Robert Admayo. I'll spit it out in a minute. Robert Adamo and Steve Bollis. On the money is Hayden Wojcicki and Sean Oliver. Then we've got the Punisher with Ryan Chan and Raymond Tang. Tomcat with Scott Richardson. We've got Yenar with Harry Baker and Vince Progetto. And Loose Wind with Stevie Polton. So we pick the boats up, folks, as we head down into the start area. So great turnaround by the Offshore Superboat Championships and Race Control here to get these boats out and running straight away. This is going to be an absolute barn burner, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around for this one because we saw some great racing yesterday, particularly for the first two places, which is Giggling and Risky. But I reckon there's a couple of boys that learned a few things yesterday, and we might see those boys actually sparking it up a little bit. Robert and Steve in the Eden Craft, I think, will definitely have a fair tilt at this one as well. So we pick them up and we send them around the top turn. Flag up on the start boat. These boats are restricted to 65 mile an hour, so around about 120 kilometres an hour. Which is pretty quick on the water, folks. Don't no mistake about that. Especially in some of these smaller boats. White flags up on the start boat. He's looking for a good lineup, the best starter in the business, Mr. Graham Fraser. He won't let him go until he sees a nice lineup. He'll bring him down probably past the next buoy. We'll keep an eye on this. Welcome to everybody at home and around the world watching on GP Hydro live streaming. Hope you're enjoying the racing today as much as we're enjoying being here at beautiful Corio Bay in Geelong. So they round at the port turn. You'll get them a good line-up. And there goes the flag. It drops and we are racing in the Sport 65 mile an hour category. Giggle and Risky, Eden Craft on the money, the Punisher, Tomcat, Yenar, Loose Wind, all away and fast. The big Eden Craft gets a really good start there. The boys having a real crack as they fire down the first straightaway. Risky on the inside, Giggling running in pole position. Then it's a Loose Wind outside of them and the Punisher on the outside of those guys. Yenar and Tomcat on the far outside. As the field charges down into turn number one, it's going to be absolute chaos down here into turn number one. Let's hope everybody leaves everybody enough room. Giggling on pole, great run there. The big Eden Craft Racing out of third there, but it's Risky and Giggling on the outside there, beyond the money. Oh, the Punisher drops down the back door a little bit. The Razor Craft, the Yenar on the outside, and Tomcat on the far outside of them as they fire through. It's four abreast as they go up into the top turn. Fantastic racing in the Australian Offshore Superboat Championship, 65 mile an hour category as they go up into turn number one. It's anyone's race at the moment. Up into the top turn, they tip the boats in. Giggling on there on pole, Risky in the mix there as well. Eden Craft, all they do the old double switchback, they're going for pole position. Look at them, hard on the buoy there. They're going to try and make up some ground. Probably not the place to do it because the next turn is the right-hander, which will see them on the outside. Just looking for a little bit of racecraft there. Is he on the money on the outside as well? Trying to have a little bit of a look at them also. So it's Giggling, Risky, On the Money and Edencraft. Then it's back to Hell Yeah, Yeah Nah, The Punisher and Tomcat. Up into the dogleg turn and Big Mark Sumo Sutherland. Father-son combination, Mark and Liam. Sutherland looking very, very good as they sit the boat in. Risky running that inside line there. And also is On the Money in the mix as well. So the smaller ski boats with the acceleration at the moment getting the job done nicely. And this is interesting because we've got Giggling to Risky, then it's On the Money. The big Edencraft Racing is in the mix here as well. And we're watching Giggling and Risky. We saw this yesterday. Absolutely gunnel to gunnel as they fire up into the top turn. Now Giggling's got that inside run. The boys from Risky, they're probably going to want to try and sneak up the inside of him here because you don't want to give Sutherland that inside running. He won't let you round him. Having said that, he won't let you up the inside of him either. So he's going to be very hard to beat from here, but it's a long race, 30-minute race. Giggling accelerates away a little bit from the Risky now as they fire down the back chute. The Sutherland boys doing it very, very nicely at the moment, but they've got Risky all over the back of them. Mark Risky Swain and Josh Bossing. Gunnel to gunnel as they come out. They maintain a bit of momentum in the Risky drive there for the Spectre boat. Trying to just, if they're going to run on the outside, they need to try and keep the momentum up and not get bogged down in the corners and hook up too much. It's the only way they're going to get around the outside of this beautiful F21 force of Mark Sutherland's. These force boats built up in on the Hawkesbury by Rod Bickerton in New South Wales. It's running the 250XS Mercury 3-litre Optimax. They come down into turn number 1 for the second time now. It is Risky and Giggling, absolutely gunnel to gunnel. Risky trying not to get hosed by the side straight from the Giggling. On the Money, right out the back of them as well, running in third spot. Have a look at the Edencraft, absolutely jumping and leaping around. They're throwing everything at this. Robert Adamo and Stevie Follis doing a great job in the big Edencraft. Not the acceleration of the smaller boats, but what a beautiful boat. They've got a bit more power. They've got the twin 300 Mercuries on the back. Then we got Ryan Shannon Ray Tang in the Punisher, and they're just holding out the Yeah Nah boat at the moment with Harry Baker and Vince Prieto. Rounding out the field, the old girl, the Tomcat, Scotty Richardson, who should be on double duties today, but unfortunately his big boat not running, so the little boat having to supply him his entertainment for the weekend. That boat built in the late 60s. Big welcome to the Presidente, Mr. Kim Bull. Hi, Kimber. Nice to see you're here.